Aloha and welcome to the channel. Before we begin, we are going to explain the levels, enemies, bosses, and mid-bosses that this game has. Stick around towards the end on my final thoughts to help you out so you can try it out or find a copy to play this enjoyable game for Halloween. So sit back, strap in, and hit the gas to the gaming wasteland. A little history on this game. Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti is a must-play spoof horror game that you probably have never heard of. This game was originally released in 1989 on the Famicom. Japan had the game, but this copy I have was created as a game hack. It is a spoof video game of Splatterhouse. The characters are cartoony and have a certain charm that you'll appreciate. One of the funniest parts is its use of parodying horror movies throughout the stage. The story. Jennifer is seen crying over Rick's grave. This reminds me of the ghost and goblin scene at the cemetery. The game has lightning striking Rick's grave and reviving him. Just like in Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Rick is shown to be wearing a hockey mask like Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th Part 3 and up. Technically, it's the terror mask from the Splatterhouse games. This mask is a source of Rick's power. Rick also carries an axe and sometimes finds a shotgun with limited ammo. Lightning strikes again next to Rick's grave and revives the Pumpkin King, who kidnaps Jennifer, in which Rick must save her. The main characters. Rick Taylor is the main protagonist of the Splatterhouse series in which the game is based on, and which different considering the other games are gory, and this one is more cartoony and friendly. Rick Taylor is also Jennifer's husband, in which he is 20 years old. Jennifer Taylor is the wife of Rick. She is seen mourning the death of Rick, which would be a role reversal to the arcade game. She is kidnapped by the Pumpkin King. The Pumpkin King is the villain that kidnaps Jennifer after being revived also by the lightning strike. Nothing is really known about this character except that he also died, which his grave is next to Rick's. I would have liked a backstory to this character. I mean, if he didn't kidnap Jennifer, then Rick wouldn't have tried to stop him. Both would probably say that was weird and go about their merry way. Levels, enemies, bosses, and mid-bosses. Stage 1, the Graveyard. The enemies that you will encounter here are the Zombie, Fleshhound, Gravestone, Will-O-Wisp. Wait, what is a Will-O-Wisp, you might ask? Well, it's supposed to be the ghost that leads a traveler astray. The name refers to hope or a goal that leads one on, but this enemy, well, it tends to harm you as well. There are different meanings also if you look up what they are in different countries as well. Mid-boss, Discola. The zombies can drop candy, which refills your health bar. The level's boss is a vampire named Discola with zombies dancing on what appears to be a stage. This reminds me of a Michael Jackson Thriller with the dancing zombies. You cannot attack Discola, but instead must concentrate in slicing up the zombies. Discola will go back inside a trapdoor and give you the peace sign after you defeat his zombie dancers. I was weirded out that I didn't need to fight the Discola though. After the vampire leaves is when it cuts to the cabin that reminds me of the cabin in The Evil Dead 2. Be careful of the Will-O-Wisp and take them out before you go into the cabin. Mid-boss, Haunted Bookcase. Inside the haunted cabin, you must do battle with a cut-off hand and spikes from the floor. The boss here is floating books. If you got a turbo sitting on your controller like me, then you can just hop and chop, which takes these books out easily. Boss, Reagan. After beating the books, we come across a girl sitting on the bed. Well, the exorcist girl who throws chairs at you and sends her head to attack you. I focused on the head instead of the chairs in order to beat her. Stage 2. Cesspool of Bile. The enemies here are the hand, spider, mouse, boar worm, prick, We are still in the cabin with the cut off hands who now throw plates at us as well as the spikes coming out of the ground. There are also spiders that occupy the next room that toss something at you. I'm not sure what it is, but it does hurt you. Mid-boss, Poltergeist. Okay, so the boss here is really weird. You find yourself next to an oven with a delicious hamburger that will refill Rick's life and kitchen knives that attack you, plus headless dead chickens. Boss, Kaiser Mouse. Okay, out of all the levels I did on this game, this one is one of the most frustrating levels I've ever been on. The boss here is a giant mouse, Kaiser, with its kids attacking you, while a strong gust of wind pushes you back. If one of the small mice touches you, you are pushed back to where you'll need to start over again in order to reach Kaiser. If you can land one hit on it, it will be victory for you. The word is if you can hit it. This is one of those levels that many Nintendo controllers were thrown on this day. Stage 3. Welcome to Devil Town. The enemies here are the Pumpkin Zealot, Cockroach, Spider, Chainsaw, Zombie. This stage has hopping pumpkin zealots. They also spit out little pumpkins at you with their mouths. Stepping on the trash cans can get you a piece of candy, and don't forget the delicious burger lying on the dirty ground to eat. Yum. You have to make your way to a house in which there is a room full of chainsaws. They are flying or cutting out the floor to attack you. Probably a reference to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Here's another movie nod after you beat the chainsaws. Mid-boss, Face Spiders. Remember the movie Aliens with the face huggers?
Over there! Yeah! Ready? Yeah!
Laying their eggs in the victim's host and a chest burster coming out. We have this here as well with a woman laying on an altar, surrounded by large containers. Her chest will begin to have those orange spiders come out of her chest. They will land on the floor or the ceiling to drop down on you. The funniest part of this is when you finish off the last spider, is when the woman will get up, yawn, and walk away. Like, how many spiders came out of you? And you're fine? Mid-boss, Pagan. This time you go outside and make your way to a church that calls you in with its bells. The spooky church has people in the background holding candles while zombies attack you. Once you make it to the altar is when you meet the evil priest, Pagan. He sends what appear to be little wyverns after you. Pagan will turn into a goat, which will ram you. This isn't really a hard boss, and you should be able to move ahead with no problems. Boss, Diptera. A scientist is about to conduct an experiment on teleportation after a fly is seen entering the other teleportation chamber, in which it goes horribly wrong, mimicking the Fly movie. Secret Stage number 1, Trouble in Japan. After beating the Fly, you want to make your way to the left pod, and you will enter the first secret level. The first crystal ball is here to get you the best ending. This level looks like it's in Japan, and you will need to find the wind-up geisha. So I made it here, and I remember reading about it, which is truly funny. When you arrive to meet the Japanese princess, she will do a dance for you while you're drinking Milwaukee's Best, or it could be sake. I'm betting it's Milwaukee's Best since Rick looks like he's from Pittsburgh. She will do this for you for about 30 seconds before saying thank you and giving you the crystal ball. Now here's another thing you can do if you want to be rude to the princess. While she is dancing, you can press the A button to fart. If you do this for the whole dance, she will say, "Gee, how rude you are. Go home with crystal ball." Stage 4, Diamond Lake. The enemies here are the zombie, prick, bat, misfit, and skeleton. Diamond Lake, which takes inspiration from Crystal Lake from the Friday the 13th series. This is the first stage where you find a shotgun, which is a very powerful weapon. Running around the lake and taking out the baddies is very satisfying. Be careful though. The shotgun pushes you back when you shoot it. You don't want to fall to your death. The lake has a shark from Jaws here as well, which will try to eat you. Boss, the Utensil Phantom. This is a parody of the Phantom of the Opera. It's trying to stab at you from the top to the bottom. The pattern on the Phantom is a bit tricky, but still fair to beat. Stage 5, the Diamond Camp. The enemies here are the Bat, Hangman, Spider, Hen, Prick, and Shriek. Diamond Camp, which is a reference to Camp Crystal Lake again. You can chop trees at this level, but be careful of the sharp stumps, which hurt Rick. This place also has bodies hanging on ropes, which means their bodies, not their heads, come after you. The Hangman sends projectiles your way. It's good that they give you candy sometimes to replenish your health. Bats lurk in this area too, until you find a cabin in the woods. The cabin has one of the best music scores. It reminds me of the song This Is Halloween from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Here is something peculiar. There are buckets on the ceiling that will drop on Rick. If one does land on him, then he will wear the bucket. Boss, Werewolf. The boss is shown to be a little boy who will change when the clouds reveal a full moon. The little boy will change into a werewolf. Now, I'm not sure which werewolf movie they were parodying, but it doesn't matter since a lot of those classic 80s horror werewolf movies were so fun to watch. If you manage to beat the werewolf, then the wolf head will fly off. Here's a strange part. The wolf head is supposed to be the little boy's head, but he will change back to normal with his head? So did the wolf head possess the child? Glad it ends up this way since this game doesn't take itself seriously. Unfortunately, if you look around, it seems that the little boy did eat some people. Hope he doesn't remember that. Stage 6. Hell House Hill. The enemies here are the Pumpkin Zealot, Will-O-Wisp, Bat. So, I'm guessing that the title has something to do with the house on Haunted Hill. I remember seeing the new one, not the original one with Vincent Price. That was a great movie in which I enjoyed. Not a mid-boss or a boss on this level. You acquire a shotgun in this level, but it's going to be frustrating since you travel and you will fall and then end up in the beginning of where you have to climb your way back to the top. Be sure to study this level and push along to make it to the Hell House. Stage 7, Hell House. The enemies here are the hand, chainsaw, and a Diptera clone. This level's not bad considering the other levels I mentioned that were frustrating. There is a pagan priest that you will not want to attack so you can get to the last secret level in order to get the last crystal ball. If you do attack the pagan priest, he will take you to a large demon head and throw you in it. This will make your way further into the Hell House though. Secret Stage number 2, Sands of Evil. Now if you didn't fight the pagan priest, and if you're just following him, there's a door. You want to go through that door, and then you'll find yourself at a pyramid, and it is recommended that you pick up the first shotgun. But there is a trap that will send you back to the beginning. It's okay, just don't grab it anymore or other items. Once you clear the obstacles, and you'll encounter another beautiful princess. The Egyptian princess will dance and say, "Welcome to Egypt. I will give you crystal ball. Good luck to you." Here's your second crystal ball, which will get you the best ending. Final battle, the Pumpkin King. There can be only one. Rick needs to beat the Pumpkin King. It will take 16 hits to finish him off. If you're about to die, then do this secret trick to get more health. You have to be playing the game and hit the start button to pause the game. Get the second player controller and hold the A and B button. Unpause the game and your life will be restored. You have a total of 3 times to use this. Spoiler alert! If you don't want to know the ending of the game, you should end the video here. If you want to see the good ending, then let's proceed. Ending. If you manage to get the crystal ball, then you can get the ending, which I got here, where both Rick and Jennifer are seen on a grassy hill. Both of them seem very happy. The other ending with the crystal ball has a storm in which both Rick and Jennifer are seen running to the West Mansion. It seems to hint that we are in the first Splatterhouse arcade game. Final thoughts. Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti is a fun, cartoony parody of the game Splatterhouse. Love the horror movie references, and it definitely feels like the developers were fans of the horror movies. You can either play this by emulation, or buy one like I did online. Now the person who made this game is no longer making these NES cartridges. Not sure why, since he did a good job on the game. You can buy the Japanese Famicom game as well. Whatever you decide is what you want to play or get this game is up to you. Thank you everyone, and have a happy Halloween, and remember, gaming is your road to adventure.